For the latest now on the preparations in Florida, I'm joined by the mayor of Tampa, Jane Castor. Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time during what is a very critical moment for your city. Right off the bat, just give us the information you're getting right now on the storm's path and what the Tampa area could be facing in the hours and days to come.
Thanks, Phil. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, the trajectory for us hasn't changed much. We are looking at the possibility of hurricane force wind gusts. And as you know, we're going into a high tide right now, full moon. We've got king tide here. We're going to go through the low tide, back into a high tide tomorrow. And with all of the rain that we're going to get from this hurricane and the storm's surge, we're looking at that 4 to 6 feet. And that's going to be critical for our community in those low-lying coastal areas. We have 126 miles of waterways in our city. And so that's a big concern for us. And that's the message that we're trying to get out to our community, is to stay in touch, just get to higher ground if you're in that zone A evacuation area. You still have some time before the winds really kick up. And then also tomorrow, don't think the coast is clear. When the winds stop and the sun may even come out, that's when we're going to experience that king tide and the majority of those surges.
We heard you a little earlier on in the show tell Rob that you're most concerned about those who didn't heed the warnings. That's always a dangerous thing to do. Give us a sense of how many Tampa residents have responded to the storm's threat, how they're responding, and what should those who choose not to leave be doing right now?
Well, I think that the people that are being interviewed right now that say they're not going to leave, they may have made that decision before. I was talking to our police officers earlier. I was a police officer for 31 years here in Tampa, and they were talking about the calls that they're going to get later from those individuals that decided to stay. And there comes a point, 50 miles an hour and above, where we can't send our first responders out there. So, very concerned about some of those individuals that have never experienced this type of an event and think that they may be able to ride it out. Ian, we were in the crosshairs. I think that was a good lesson for our community. How quickly things can change and how violent these storms can actually be.
Yeah, and what we learned from that storm and so many others is it's not just a direct hit that's the problem. So if Tampa does avoid a direct hit, looks like that's the case right now. What has the city been able to do to prepare for what could be potentially catastrophic storm surge, which can be sometimes more dangerous than a direct hit?
Right, without a doubt. The majority of our injuries come after the storm has passed through. So what we have done, and we do day after day throughout my 35 years of public service, is we continue to prepare for these moments. Whenever a storm hits another area, anywhere in the southeast, we send our resources up there or down there to help those communities out. And we bring those lessons back. I think one of the most important examples I could give you right now is evacuations. We used to tell everyone, get out of town, go as far away as you can. And now the message is hide from the wind, run from the water. So in our area, our residents could go 10, 15, 20 miles upland and be safe from the worst impacts of this particular storm.
And can you talk a little bit about the resources you have there in Tampa to deal with whatever comes with this storm? And you're talking about storm surge, you're talking about some people being there. Once it's passed, or the majority of it is passed, what resources do you have in place to help?
Well, we have all of our city resources. Everyone is at work right now. You can see the EOC behind me. I visited earlier our emergency response centers, and those are what we call the push crews, and they're the ones that will clear the paths for our first responders and for the utilities to come through and address any utility outlets, whether it be electricity, gas, those types of things. So we have everybody prepared and on duty for each of those segments of a storm. Before doing the evacuations, our first responders were out there today evacuating individuals from low-lying areas. working in the shelters. We handed out close to 40,000 sandbags to our community. And so preparing beforehand and then leading through the storm, and then tomorrow we will be ready to address whatever damage that we have endured from this hurricane.
Tampa Mayor Jane Castor, thanks so much for taking this time to speak with us tonight, and obviously our best to you and your entire city.
Thanks again, Phil. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.